It's day 17. What's going on? Welcome to my new mini series, and I've coined it Side Hustle Saturdays. We're gonna sit down. I'm already sitting down, but we're gonna talk about my past week's earnings and where I'm at in terms of funding this world cruise. All right. So I'd like to call this discussion to order, and I'd like to play today's anthem. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. All right. Those Benjamins. We also aren't above doing something strange for some change. All right, but no, for real, let's get into this. So I signed up for Instacart, did my first 2 batches a week ago today, and came out $34.70. Signing up for Instacart, they had a promo going that $150 minimum for your first 8 batches. So sign me up. And then also another promo was an additional $8 per batch for up to 3 batches. Sign me up. So I had my 2 done on Saturday. Then Monday I signed up for DoorDash and I did a couple of dashes. Didn't realize they had a promotion going where it's $30 to do, I think, your first dash or something like that. So on Monday for 2 dashes, I made $59.25. Not bad, right? So knowing in the back of my mind, I have this Instacart promo that expires April 3rd, the 8 batches for $150. Now, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to say one of the lessons that I've learned this week, because I want to share how I'm growing, how I'm learning. Reading is fundamental. You have to read all of the details. So I read them today, but that's after I was out here and I was the little batcher that could. Y'all, I did 6 batches yesterday and I was all over the flipping state. For sure, I calculated 65 miles, and that was just from the stores to the customers' homes. That was 65 miles. That isn't the number of miles in between. So I had one that, well, how about this? Makes sense. I had one where it was 17 miles. So round trip basically is what, 35 miles? So yeah, if I take 65, so I probably did about drove 130 miles yesterday. All right, so I was out from a little before 2 until 11 p.m. is when I pulled into my garage. So my unreading self, that's how we just gonna talk about ourselves, thought that I was gonna get an additional $150 on top of the batches. So I'm expecting to pull in, $200 and some odd dollar day. Yeah, wrong. So it's, if you do 8 batches and say you haven't made 150, then Instacart will, I guess, match the difference. So it's not in excess of what your batches are. So the batches that I did a week ago were relatively short distances. So it was like, okay, when yesterday, 16 miles. So that's there and back. That's 32 miles, 17, 35 miles. Y'all, I was driving and I was like, wait a minute, but I was committed to the cause because I said, I just need 2 more to get this. Cause I'm thinking that I'm going to get $150 on top of what I was making. All right. So first lesson, reading is fundamental. Okay. Then I also was trying to maximize on my time out. It was interesting that I got an order for a batch that was up in the suburb that I live in, but was 6 miles away for a delivery address. Now here's where it gets interesting. After I did that, shopped that order and was going to deliver it, there was a Kroger grocery store that is within a mile of the address. So I don't understand the logistics behind how these batches and things work, because I felt like yesterday, majority of my batches were out and distances. Matter of fact, the last one that I took, because I added, I'm still so new, so I don't know if there's a way that, I don't think you can tell the distance of the batch, because I don't know, I think people probably wouldn't do them. But what I'm learning is that, or probably wouldn't accept them. I'm learning that the more that you do this with Instacart, you will accrue at points and move to a higher status. So you get, I guess, like preferential seeing the batches first. And because you're deeming yourself reliable and worthy, and they'll rate you and things like that. So I noticed that, and I also tried to, like I said, maximize my time while I was out. So I turned on DoorDash, and I did a couple of DoorDashes in between. But what I also learned about DoorDash is that if I'm not doing it, then I have to turn them off, because I think I might be getting like dings if I'm not accepting, but I'm in like that on mode, so to speak, that dash mode. So that was something that I noticed and have to keep my track of. The other thing, I found myself feeling like a lot lizard. Y'all remember them from Hustle and Flow, or I guess in real life, but the ladies that hang around truck stops, or the people that hang around truck stops. I felt like that. I felt like I was going and hanging around grocery store parking lots because I was trying to pick up batches. So that was comical to me. As I hit the last batch, and I wanted to not be out batching and delivering in the dark, because I did that last week and I said I wasn't a fan of it. Well, the last two batches were in the dark, and because I was committed to that $150 cause, which okay, was like pissed off, because let me say, I wasn't pissed off. I was kind of irritated because these last two batches were like 10 miles and 16 miles away from the stores respectively. And it was dark, and the very last one had me going further away. When it came up on my screen, Shirley, Indiana, I said, oh, hell no. First of all, what clued me in that it was going to be far was that when I selected start delivery, I think it was 9:43 last night, and it showed delivery time at or before 10:15. I said, I got to go a ways away. So I was cussing and upset and had to drive the country back roads to get home, because that's what both GPSs took me as the shortest route. I was like just so irritated. But then at one point I started laughing, and I just thought it was hilarious, because I was like, girl, you pissed off, but you didn't do anything all week aside from the two dashes that I did on Monday. I never got up to go out and do them. And so here again, coupled with not reading, I'm out here cramming all of these, like I am in my own way. So that was just kind of funny to me. And so then I really started thinking, I need to check out OnlyFans site, or this like foot site. What are people looking for? I want to Google what I can get paid to do on OnlyFans that I can still hold my head high, but will bring in some money without me having to go and deliver pop. So yeah, those are the lessons. So let's get into these numbers. I made a total of, from Saturday to Saturday, I made, or will have made, but these are my earnings from Saturday to Saturday. On DoorDash, $77.25. And on Instacart, I've already been paid $34.70 and $43.42. $255.37. And that is based off of 10 active hours. So when I think about it, not bad. I originally said that I wanted to make $83 a day. Let's see. Okay, so we're $327, basically $330 in the hole. What have I learned? Consistency is key. If I'm going to do it, I need to do a little bit each day. I don't know how realistic the $83 is, but I'm going to see. I also saw that DoorDash peak times, which makes sense, are between 11 and 1 and like 5 and 8. So those need to be my hours so that when I'm doing it, it's on and popping. Checking out Uber Eats, I saw that they have a promo that is $480 for 48 deliveries by May 4th. So I calculated it. It's about 1.6. So 1.5, basically 2 deliveries per day in order to meet that goal. So, doable. I mean, while it's small, it's like, all right, at least I know in the next 30 days, I can make $480 if I do this. That's more than what I'm not doing. So, hey, figure, all right, that's what I'm going to do. My ultimate thought and takeaway from this is that this is the journey that I'm on, and I'm building something. I told myself, you know what, it's not going to always be like this, because although I'm making less than working at the hospital, I have that freedom in my schedule. If I do a little bit a day, then it's giving me some income, and hey, I can just, plan accordingly, but I have that freedom and that control over my schedule. So it's also giving me an urgency. Do I want to be delivering groceries? Because think about it. While it's it's not bad, it's gas. That's the biggest thing, is the gas that I'm spending. So I really need to be strategic about it, because I don't want to, this is like paying for childcare versus working to pay for childcare. I don't want to be working to pay my gas. I'm beginning to really shift my mindset and realize, okay, what is going to make the most sense? Digital products, something that people just continue to buy after you've put it out there. A new iteration of that digital product or something. But that's how I am really beginning to shift my mindset, because then that allows me freedom to focus on other things. It's about working smarter, not harder. Understanding that for a while you are going to have to grind a little bit, and use it as a stepping stone. Don't look at it as, I hate it, but look at it as a means to an end, not an ends to a mean. So if we looked at the $83 per day, which would get us to $5,000 in like 60 days, we're about $330 in the hole. So we gotta regroup, y'all. We're starting off bad. I appreciate you for watching. It's gonna be fun. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.